cloud. Hi, I'm Shivan Sarna, and this is a special day because my friend Tobias Segal has a world launch product to make getting ozone water at home easily. Okay. For those
Yes.
of you, right. So just a little intro here. If you don't know me, I'm Shivan Sarna. I wrote this book, Healing SIBO. I've done 11 summits about gut health and biological dentistry and IBS and fascia and lymph, and a docu-series called Digestion SOS. And then I was also a host on Home Shopping Network for 24 years. And I have always been into natural health ever since before I could drive. My mom and I used to do food combining back in the day. If any of you remember that. I was a yoga teacher, had my own yoga studio for 10 years. So I'm really into natural health and I'm really into products. What can I say? I love making life easier, saving time, energy, and money. So about 7 years ago, I met Dr. Ilana Gurvich, and she talked to me about ozone. It was the first time I'd ever really heard of it. And I was intrigued, and it stuck in the brain. Fast forward, I kept hearing about ozone. And then, here's Petunia. Then I met Tobias Segal, who has a family-run business, and they specialize in ozone. So I was lucky enough to get my own device at home, and I would show it to you, but it's a hot mess surrounding it. So Tobias will show you what having a home ozone machine is all about. And he's going to explain ozone. So if you're just here curious and have heard of it, don't worry, he's going to explain it soup to nuts. But the bottom line is that it's an amazing tool for digestive health, for dental health, for cleaning in a non-toxic fashion your home. Have you ever pulled your toothbrush only to see some nasty stuff around it and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was there. All of these things. So Tobias has done a couple of different webinars for us about ozone, and he has a slide presentation. I'm going to have him pull that up and get started right now. And just know that this is his jam. Dr. Allison C. Becker for SIBO, Tobias Segal is that mission called about ozone. And I'm very honored that he would launch a product with me. Okay, I did ask, and he said yes, so I appreciate that. And that's to do with making ozone water at home more easily. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing is that, look, my husband, I went away for a couple of days. Look what my husband bought unsupervised the other day. I was horrified. Horrified. I was like, have I taught you nothing? And then he came home with this, which is better, right? Zero alcohol, Listerine, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just say no. Okay. We're going to say yes to ozone water. Tobias, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, I'm going to start the slide presentation, but first off, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate this.
Our pleasure.
1 second. Okay. 1 second.
He's never done this presentation before. It's totally brand new and it's gorgeous. More later. Here we go.
So the whole concept of this presentation is to go over the benefits of ozone water. We have talked a lot about ozone water on this podcast before. And, we've really talked about the traditional way to make ozonated water, which requires an ozone generator. It requires an oxygen tank, and it requires a flask that looks like this. So there's really three components to traditionally make ozone water. That's a great way to make it, but we're also looking for easier methods that's going to develop more compliance with individuals. We can make things a little bit easier. We feel like people are going to be a little bit more likely to dive into it even deeper. So I'm going to begin this presentation and talk about why you want to get into ozone water and how it can benefit you at home. So a little bit about myself. This is a family-run business. We started it back in 2001. I am now an owner, and I do a lot of product development. So I get the opportunity to work with a lot of engineers to design products, to figure out better ways to make them. And that's a really fun part of my life that I really enjoy. It allows me to allows me to have some creativity that really is fun. Ozone has, positively impacted my life and a lot of different family members that I work with. It's really cool to see ozone actually work on people that's around you that you love. I'm just so lucky to be in this position where I have had the ability to see how well it has worked for individuals. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm going to start diving into the facts with ozone water. Okay, so I want to talk about oral health and, some things that people may not be aware of, but pH, does play a huge role in your oral health. So the actual, acidity level or alkalinity level inside your mouth, that plays a huge role. The more acidic your mouth is, chances are you're going to have more cavities and more infections. Your mouth has a microbiome, so it's really important to keep that up. They sell oral microbiome pills that can help enhance your bacteria levels. Your tongue and tonsils are loaded with bacteria that can lead to poor health. I think this was the biggest stat that stuck out to me was up to 85% of adults in the United States have some form of gum disease. And we all know what gum disease leads to. It can lead to a host of a lot of other issues. And so, that to me, that number is just out of control. I think a really cool thing is each tooth is directly connected to organs in the body. So, if you look at the tooth meridian lines, you'll see how like a molar might be connected to your gut, or, this tooth might be connected to your spleen. So we have like these charts that have been created that actually show how the energy level flows and how each tooth can negatively or positively affect a specific part of your body. So just things that you need to be aware of when talking about oral health. Your pH is a huge deal, and really keeping your mouth healthy is a big importance to staying healthy. So I want to start out by, obviously this is the whole thing about ozone. So let's talk about the benefits of ozone, and especially when it comes to like oral health. So ozone hardens enamel and is considered a much safer alternative to fluoride. I'm not sure everybody's position on fluoride, but fluoride is considered to be very, very toxic, and an excess dose can actually lead to a lot of other conditions. Ozone will not negatively or positively change the pH. So if you have ozone added to water, it's not going to change whether it's alkaline or acidic. Ozone predominantly attacks the anaerobic bacteria, which we view as the bad bacteria. So anaerobic bacteria is bacteria that doesn't really thrive in oxygen-rich environments. So it's that deeper stuff. It's that stuff that's harder to usually get. Your aerobic bacteria is going to be more oxygen derived. It's going to have more of a protection level against like oxygen, so it does better in those environments. Ozone helps reduce oral inflammation. So, a lot of people who have gum disease have, major forms of inflammation going on, and ozone has been shown to help reduce that. Ozone can actually change the acidic environments under your gum line to one that is more neutral. So we talked about earlier how the acidity in the mouth can actually lead to more cavities or infections. So ozone can actually balance you back out to a more normal level. This is going to help repopulate your good bacteria and help your teeth and your gums start to heal. And ozone helps increase circulation. So it promotes positive blood flow, which is the first step into healing, some of the issues that are going on with your mouth. So these are some really cool things that ozone does, but there's more. So ozone penetrates the plaque in the biofilm and actually will help go through that and get that deeper into your system. Ozone eradicates cold sores as well, which is fantastic. I know a lot of people deal with those, and it's something that's incredibly annoying. Ozone really will go after those and help speed up the recovery on those much faster. For a lot of people out there who have root sensitivity issues, ozone helps or even stops root sensitivity. So if you're drinking cold water and it's sensitive, I'm not going to say it's going to completely eliminate it, but it can actually help reduce that quite a bit. Ozone also helps harden previously soft areas of decay. And ozone can help the tooth tubulars and kill bacteria that cause tooth decay. So, these are some major highlights that ozone does in the mouth. And I think we need to be aware of what ozone water can actually accomplish when we look at the positives. And, it's something that people need to be aware of because most people have some major underlying issue in their mouth going on. I mean, 85% of people have gum disease. And so if we can do something that can help reduce that, I think that's going to be the first step in recovery. So everybody's into mouthwash. Shivan, thanks for showing us the mouthwash that your husband purchased just recently. I didn't know this until recently, but most alcohol-based mouthwashes can dry your mouth out, or lead to tooth sensitivity or bad breath or even cavities. So it really doesn't do much. What's interesting with most mouthwashes is they have a pH range anywhere from 3 to 6. And at 5.5, it'll actually erode enamel and or help it actually cause some your dentin to erode as well at 6.5. Your most mouthwashes are going to kill the good and the bad bacteria, and that can actually offset your natural balance and reduce immunity. Mouthwash may also impact, blood pressure by reducing the bacteria that promotes nitric oxide. So a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this on this podcast already, but there's a whole thing right now, like don't brush your teeth before, or don't use mouthwash before you go to bed, because it's going to eliminate that bacteria that promote that healthier production of nitric oxide. And that's good for your blood vessels and increase blood flow. Okay. So we know how ozone benefits us, orally. So let's talk about how are we going to actually use it to get it into our system? How are we going to, what's the easiest way to make that happen? What we really want to do is we want to take ozone water, and if you can use it as a mouthwash, that's great. But if you can also add it to your water pick, I love water picks. I think it's a great way to massage the gums. I think it's a great way to, get between the teeth to help clean your teeth out. So if you can add ozone water to your water pick, that's a really good tool to get that ozone water deep between the gums and the pockets. I was talking to this individual a little while ago, and they mentioned that their dentist told them to shake the water a little bit before they put it into their water pick to add additional oxygen. I'm like, that's interesting. Why not just use ozone water? It's even better. I would say ozone is also one of the best mouthwashes available. Just gargling with it is great because you can hit the back of the throat. It'll reach the tonsils, which are obviously loaded with bacteria. The great thing though, I think this is a huge comparison with ozone water and other types of mouthwash. Ozone water is 100% safe to drink. So you can take ozone water after it's fully done. You can pour it into your water pick. You can use it as a mouthwash, but when it's all said and done, you can literally drink this stuff and it's not going to hurt you. It's great for, upper GI issues that we've talked a lot about before on this podcast. It's a whole nother avenue to intake this ozone water for those types of issues. And then another great aspect of ozone water is if you cut yourself or have a scrape, you can pour that ozone water directly onto that area and it'll help disinfect it and promote, reduce the inflammation and help promote the healing. So those are some great uses of ozone water. You can also add ozone water to your vegetables and your fruit. We sent Shivan a really cool device that allows you to quickly ozonate your fruits and vegetables. You just drop them in a pan and turn it on and you're good to go within like 3 minutes. So, we've talked about, why we need ozone, how it's used, how does it work? To me, that would be the big question is like scientifically, what is it actually doing? So I think in the simplest way to explain it is ozone is negatively charged, and most of the bacteria and viruses that are causing you issues are positively charged. So since ozone's negatively charged, it's going to actually actively seek out and attract itself to these positively charged particles, such as these viruses and bacteria. And what it's basically doing is it's stripping an electron out of especially out of a virus, and it's deactivating them as well. So when you look at bacteria and viruses, it's going to neutralize a lot of these pathogens very, very quickly, like within a fraction of a second. Ozone, when it comes to bacteria, it actually will destroy the cell wall. And the beauty with that is there's not going to be any resistance built up to it compared to like your standard antibiotic. So where viruses and bacteria, or where bacteria can develop resistance to an antibiotic, ozone, that'll never happen with ozone, no matter how long we're here. Ozone will always outbeat the bacteria, 100% of the time. So we do also want to talk about like concentration. So, not all ozone water is created equal. You know, we have low strength, we have medium strength, we have high strength. So, if you look at ozone water, we reference it from zero point 0.5 to 1 part per million. So that's the amount of dissolved ozone in the water. And so as we go up in strength, the ozone water is going to get stronger and stronger. And so there are different types of bacteria that do that, you know, will actually, you know, overcome low strength ozone water. And then there's other bacteria where everything is, I mean, at some point, you know, the ozone water is going to wipe out all bacteria. So we like to show you, you know, different concentration levels. And the cool thing is we can easily measure these concentrations. We can get you to these concentrations, you know, relatively very easily. So this is a chart that shows, you know, different types of bacteria and the required kill rate or the required parts per million of ozone water needed to destroy it. So as you can see, most bacteria are going to be obliterated anywhere from 0.5 parts per million all the way up to 2 parts per million. So, you know, I think this is really important to note that, you know, just because you have a little bit of ozone water, you might smell a little bit of it, it may not be killing all the bacteria, especially the biofilm, because you need a little bit higher concentration to cut through that biofilm. So, you know, that's my biggest takeaway with ozone water is like, just because, you know, you're making ozone water, that doesn't mean anything. That you have to have an actual a measurable concentration that you know of so you can properly treat what's actually going on in your mouth. And most of the dentists that I've worked with, you know, we're really shooting for that 3 to 4 parts per million range, because that's going to eradicate the majority of the bacteria that are causing us issues in our mouth. So, you know, that's a huge takeaway for me, you know, knowing your concentration, knowing what it's going to actually do to these bacteria. So, obviously, we want to talk about safety, because, you know, there are some misconceptions with ozone. People fear that ozone might be toxic or might be dangerous to breathe. Let's get that out of. Let's go over this really quick and hopefully, you know, convince people that this is one of the safest things that you can do. When ozone is suspended in water, it's probably safer than traditional water to drink. You can actually take ozone water, pour it in your eye. It will not do anything. It actually feels pretty good. It's not going to irritate. It's not going to irritate your skin at all. It honestly, you know, just provides like a cleaning sensation, you know, on your skin when you use it. The only way ozone is going to be, you have to be careful with it when it's in its gaseous form. So if you're using a generator like this, you know, we do have systems set up that control that concentration off gas, but if it's in that gaseous form and you do breathe it, it can cause a little bit of respiratory distress, and it might be a little bit irritating. But overall, like when we look at ozone water, literally there's nothing safer. You can literally drink this stuff. You can pour it in your eyes. You can pour it on your skin. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to honestly feel like water. But lo and behold, it's going to be doing a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, behind the scenes. I do like to talk about, you know, the effectiveness of ozone compared to other types of, you know, stuff that's out there. To me, I thought was really interesting. You know, ozone works substantially faster than chlorine. If you look at chlorine as a sterilizing agent, I mean, it's 3,000 times faster. It's 5,000 times more effective than chloramines. And then it's also, you know, 25 times more effective than hypochlorous acid. So these are a lot of things that people are using. But the takeaway is a lot of these other compounds that are used as sterilizers also have additional reactions that take place. There's other compounds that are created that can actually be harmful to our health. Ozone is literally O3 in water, and there's no other reactions that are taking place. And then within a very short period of time, ozone reverts back to oxygen. I want to dive into that a little bit more because it's really fascinating. So when we look at ozone water, it does have a half-life. So that means that it's not going to last forever. So when you make ozone water, you know, it's going to last you roughly a good 30 minutes before it needs to be consumed. And, you know, if you look at, you know, other things that are done on the market, so if you drink bottled water, 100% of bottled water on the market has been purified with ozone. And there's a reason why they do it, is because it doesn't leave any residual tastes or compounds in the water after it's been done. And if they used chlorine to sterilize water after the fact, everybody's bottled water would taste horrible. It would have an off taste to it. It would probably look discolored, and it would not be enjoyable. So that's why ozone is the preferred method, because after it's done, it literally goes away and turns back into oxygen or O2. So that's the beauty of ozone. You create it, it doesn't last forever, and it's incredibly safe, and that's why. Okay. So we've talked a lot about ozone water, and I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of great questions that are asked, but let's dive into ozone oils, because that's another cool aspect to oral health. In addition to ozone water, you can actually take ozonated oils, which take on a lot of the benefits of ozone, and you can topically apply it to the gums, you can topically apply it to a tooth, you can put it between the teeth, and it acts as a really good desensitizing agent. It acts as a really good, it helps reduce a lot of that additional bacteria, and it can really increase the speed of recovery. A lot of the people that I work with who in the dental field, they actually hand this stuff out after an oral surgery and tell the patient to apply it directly to the site. And they found that it actually will increase the healing time that the patient is going through. Great for cold sores as well, for people who are dealing with those issues. So that covers ozonated oil. I'd be happy to answer additional questions about that as well. It's pretty fascinating.
Tobias?
You can use it as an oil. Yes.
Tobias, hang on. Everybody, would you do me a favor and just post your questions in the Q&A box, and just refrain from the chat, because I'm by myself today. Plus, I want to be really respectful of Tobias, and we will answer your questions. We've saved time for it. So if you have any questions, pop it in there. And you know what? Excellent. When I did the intro, I didn't really give enough due to biological dentistry, which of course, thank goodness you're focusing on. But because I was thinking about it for gut issues, that was just in my brain, even though I did show you this horror. The biological dentists and hygienists and the people I've interviewed, now over 100 of them, about biological dentistry, they all use it. I don't know any of them that don't use it. And people, when they say, like, do you think they're a good biological dentist? And there are a lot of criteria. One of them is, in the checklist, is do they use ozone? And do they use ozone water? So I wanted to add that. But anyway, carry on. It's not a super long presentation, so he'll be wrapping up in a few.
Yeah, we're almost done.
We wanted to also show you, I asked Tobias to do this. I have this basic ozone package and love it. And if you all want to go for these additional uses he's going to talk about, then go for it. We have that coupon that I posted in the chat. I'll rechat it. So that's like sort of graduate level, and want to definitely recommend that. But this is also today about just like getting started. So cool. Thank you.
Yeah. It really is about, making this as easy as possible. With this package right here. So this is your traditional ozone therapy package. It's going to require an oxygen source like this. It requires the generator, obviously, and it requires a few other components, but this allows you to treat yourself full body at home with ozone. So a very popular method of ozone administration is going to be called rectal insufflation. As odd as that sounds, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of it, but it's the process of putting ozone gas, up your rectum. So basically like a gas enema. And so the idea is that ozone absorbs systemically throughout the body, because there's so many blood vessels down there, and it'll just get all throughout your body. You can also, one of the part of the package allows you to make ozone water for drinking, and also for mouthwash, all the other purposes that we've talked about. And there's a few other things that you can do with this package. You can add ozone to the ears for, we call it ear insufflations. And that helps treat like eye issues. It helps treat TMJ issues. It helps treat sinus issues as well, which is, for a lot of people suffer from allergies. You can also shoot a little bit of ozone gas up your nose, as weird as that sounds. We're not actually breathing it. We're just going to exhale any excess ozone that there is. And that's going to be a great method for treating your sinuses, especially if you have a cold or a sinus infection, because it's getting up there and it's lowering that bacterial count or that viral load that could be causing some of those issues. And the whole idea is when you start lowering that, the bad critters out there, it actually gives your body a much better chance to recover and heal. So for people who are dealing with more systemic issues, like if it's not just like one localized issue, especially, if it's, like this is a SIBO, group, you have a lot of gut issues. I mean, full body ozone is really, really good for that, in my opinion. It addresses a lot of full body issues that, maybe just ozone water is not going to address. So, if people are interested in, these traditional packages, the only issue is the oxygen source. It does require a pure oxygen source to operate. We do have a lot of information. I have some videos on Shivan's landing page that will actually discuss how to actually get that done.
So for this, you do not need an oxygen source. So somebody's asking.
That is correct.
So
and
no
that's what I want to go over.
Source. Yeah, this is the whole thing. Hello, this is it. This is it. And you do need distilled water, though. So get your jug of distilled water. Tobias, let me allow you to finish, and then I will ask a bazillion questions.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing if that's cool, okay?
Yeah, sure. Anyway, thank you, Tobias. That was great. I appreciate you, because that's a brand new
if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them by, send me an email. But we'll answer some of these here in a few minutes as well.
Okay, so that's a very generous offer too. Thank you.
So the big challenge with creating ozone water is it traditionally has required a pure oxygen source. So what we've done is we've simplified the process a bit, and we've made it all self-contained into a little device like this. So what we're doing, we're using a little bit of a little different technology to produce the ozone. We're generating it through the process of electrolysis. And what that is we're actually adding a little bit of current to the water. And what it's doing is it's separating the hydrogen and the oxygen from the water. As we know, water is H2O, so there's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. It's separating the hydrogen and the oxygen, and we're generating these singlet oxygen molecules within the water. And those go crazy. They have to attach to something. And so they want to attach back to additional O2 in the water. And when that happens, we have now created O3. So it's a really quick, fast way to produce really high concentrated ozone water. So what we're doing, we're clocking out measurements with this device right around 4 parts per million of ozone. And as we saw in that previous slide, most virus or most bacteria on that slide were eliminated at, under 2 parts per million. So we're exceeding a level that we know is going to quickly and very quickly deactivate a lot of these viruses and these bacteria. So, the whole, like our goal is, we understand that, I love these systems. I use this all the time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it may be a little intimidating for some people to get into, and they may need to start at a better starting point. And so if you can start recognizing the benefits of ozone water, whether it's in your bathroom as a mouthwash or adding to a water pick, I know you're going to see the results, and that's going to transition you to a believer in ozone, and you're going to want to understand more as far as what's out there. It's a very simple device. You're just going to be adding distilled water.
How it works? Why don't you take us through exactly how it works, and then I've got to get to these questions.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to add distilled water, and to generate ozone, you need a little bit of an electrical current. So we have to have a little bit of minerals to be added to the water. So we have some just some mineral drops right here that we add, just a few. And once that's done, it allows that to take place, it allows that current to actually get to the water. And all we do is we hit the button to turn it on, hold it for 3 seconds. And then we're going to hit the button, and it's going to turn blue. And you're going to see a bunch of bubbles happen. And that's going to be indicating that that's going to tell you that ozone's being produced. And there's a timer set for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you're going to see the light turn yellow. And that means that you have high concentration ozone water, depending on how many mineral drops that you add. And what's cool is when you crack open the lid and when you compare it to, like your traditional bubbler for ozone, literally smells the same. Like there's no difference. Awesome. And so, you've created in 3 minutes, add it to your water pick, drink it. It tastes just like ozone water.
Brush your teeth, do whatever. Okay, you guys and gals, here's the deal. Tobias, great job. Okay. Questions come into the Q&A box. Come on, Stefan or Stephen, can you please put everything in the Q&A box because I'm going cross-eyed here. All right, what's the difference between structured water and ozone water?
Good question. So structured water would be, I would actually bet it's somewhat similar because we are sending an electrical current through it. I don't have an exact answer for that. This is still, I'm still diving into this a little bit more as far as what the difference with ozone and structured water would be. I normally with structured water, it's more hydratable. It's going to be more microclustered water. I would say this is going to be a little different the more that I think about it. This is going to be ozone water that's going to be viewed as more as a sterilizing agent for your mouth and for your overall body.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm deleting the questions in the chat, so please pop them into the Q&A box. Okay. So, it's really a different purpose than structured water. It's more about the everything he just talked about. Like, I've never heard a structured water conversation talk about tooth decay and, cleaning your counters. It's just different. Will ozone water in the water pick or equivalent plastic reservoir degrade the plastic tub, tubing, and other plastic or rubber components, as ozone is known to do it in other applications?
Great question. So the answer is highly unlikely because when we look at ozone water, we're focusing on a parts per million range of ozone dissolved in the water. If you look at all the ozone compatibility charts out there, we've even tested this ourselves. You don't see the reactivity with ozone water with plastics as you do with ozone gas. Ozone gas is so much more reactive in the gaseous form, and that's where you see reactivity with plastics. One of the things that we did is we put this in glass. So we made sure it was glass just in case if there was any reactivity, because this is going to be staying there for a while. You're going to have this is going to be used consistently for a long time. And so, whether you're adding it into your water pick, the amount of exposure time on these other devices is going to be far less than what this is. I've consistently used this on my water pick for, I can't even count how many runs I've done. And I've never had an issue.
It's not sitting in there for a long time.
It's not sitting in there. That's not designed to sit in your water pick for a long time. We want you to add it to your existing water pick.
Okay. How long does each batch last in terms of its viability?
So we estimate, based upon the half-life of ozone and the temperature of the water.
You already answered, but go ahead.
Roughly 30 minutes. And so
it's so fast to make.
If you put in cold water, maybe throw a few ice cubes in there as well, it'll last you probably for a good hour or more. So it's going to last you for a lot longer.
But most of us, when we're brushing our teeth or we're doing a quick counter clean or whatever, we're not really needing to last longer than an hour. But even it's like so fast. How long does it take to ozonate?
Well, that's the idea. Is it takes 3 minutes. Like instead of like hooking up an elaborate system to make it, you're pouring your water and you're hitting the button, and then you generate it as part of your routine, your morning oral health routine. So like in the morning, when I'm getting ready to get out of the shower, I'll turn on the device, brush my teeth. Maybe I'm still combing my hair, and then I start the water pick and then the mouthwash, and then I'm done. It's something you just incorporate. If you do it the right way, chances are it's not going to actually change any aspect of your time.
I got so many more questions for you, dude.
Okay, let's go.
Keep moving. Okay, how does it compare with hydrogen water?
Great question. Hydrogen water is pretty much the exact opposite of ozone water. Hydrogen's an antioxidant. Ozone's an oxidant. They technically would neutralize each other if you combined them. So I think I love hydrogen water, but completely different level. Hydrogen's more on that structured water side.
Okay, right. I've never heard anyone talk about hydrogen water and brushing your teeth with it or gargling or whatever. If ozone kills bad bacteria, does it also kill the good bacteria too?
It can. So I want to make this point clear. Your good bacteria repopulate substantially faster with a sterilizing agent like ozone compared to something else. Ozone goes after the anaerobic bacteria first, compared to the aerobic bacteria. You're going to find that, if you're one of the 85% of Americans that have gum disease, you still have to get rid of that bacteria regardless. Like you're going to have to do something to start that reduction of that bacteria level. And if you kill off a little bit of good bacteria in the process, So that is what it is. But that's why you need to take a good oral probiotic to, get that bouncing back. Now, the beauty with ozone is all the ozone doctors that I've talked to, and they talk about this quite extensively, is when you compare it to an antibiotic, your good bacteria repopulate substantially faster with when you've been using ozone. So it's not, and we talked about this in the presentation as well. Ozone water actually generates a more neutral environment for good bacteria to thrive and accelerate.
What's the difference between ionized water and ozone water?
What is ionized water?
I don't know. Can you mix
I can't
electrolytes
remember.
with, I gotta keep going or we're gonna run out of time. Can you mix electrolytes with ozone water for drinking?
You could if you wanted to. I would recommend making it first, then adding like maybe like a lemon flavor or something else on top of it to make it more palatable or enjoyable. So you could.
Yes, you have to use distilled water. What if someone doesn't have distilled water? I saw that in the instructions.
You're not set to use it. I mean, we recommend distilled water because we're controlling the ozone concentration. So the idea
Okay.
here is we want people to know the concentration that they're getting. If you're using like a tap water, we don't know what else is in that tap water. Like the issue is, and this is with all ozone production, regardless if it's this device or whether it's this device right here. If there's like other contaminants in your water, there's reactions that can happen that can turn those other contaminants into something else. And so to me, like to play it safe, to play it 100% healthy, let's
Okay.
use distilled water and do it the right way.
Okay, I think some people weren't here for the beginning. So what you do is you pour your distilled water in here, you add some drops. It's very clear in the instructions, which I don't have another hand or I bring them over. And then you switch on the top. Here's the charger. You plug it into your USB. You place it upside. You actually do it without I did it without the water
Yeah,
in it. Yeah, you just do it
you can
without
do
the
it. It
water
doesn't
in it.
matter.
It
It
doesn't
can be
matter.
done either or. So
Charge it. It has lights, blue, green. You're good to go.
yeah, and
Um,
you're gonna get like 30 to 40 cycles out of it. So you have to charge it maybe like once a week, if that.
okay. If ozonated water has a 30-minute time frame to use, how long does ozonated oil last?
Great question. So ozone oil lasts indefinitely because there's not actually active ozone gas in an ozone
Mhm.
oil. There is we call them ozonides, which are a lot more stable. It's technically not ozone, but especially if you refrigerate ozone oils,
Yeah.
you'll get years of life out of them.
Oh, that's great. I don't, this is my bathroom counter, but I don't refrigerate it. I do have a batch in the refrigerator too, but that
Yeah.
is powerful stuff.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't personally recommend refrigerating ozone oils unless you're going to be not using them for months at a
yeah,
time.
it's my backup
Like
one.
I use them, all the time, and I leave them on my countertop. But I might be going through them every month or so. So I'm every 1 to 2 months, I'm getting a fresh batch.
Any problems with California law with this device?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, cool. Oh my
Because
gosh.
first of
We
all,
have to keep going. It's a
California
yes or no
has,
question,
yeah,
dude. I got to keep going. I
no,
love you.
absolutely not.
Okay, MF, on the NIH website, there are several research articles regarding the problems with ozone. They claim it's beneficial for the stratosphere, but attaching itself to human molecules can cause problems, problems with your lungs, etc.
So we talked about ozone gas. Okay, this is not ozone gas. This is ozone dissolved in water. Excess
Okay.
levels of ozone gas can cause lung irritation, but this isn't happening. So
Okay,
no issues here.
June is saying she can't see the small machines that connect to the USB on the site. How much are they? Do they ship to Canada? Do you ship to Canada?
We do ship to Canada. That's correct.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go to the site. I know you all have more questions, and I am gonna try to get to them. As you can tell, I'm being quite assertive. Okay, let's see. I have to verify that I'm human. Let's see. Here we go. Zoom, share screen. So just go to the link that's in the chat. There's my little picture. There's the code. So no one else has this. It is just us. This is a world launch. This has never been done before. I literally been
We
talking to
have
Tobias about this for months.
we haven't even told anybody else that this is out there yet. So like
Like,
we're putting it on
seriously.
the website just for you guys today. So
Thank you. So the drops are included, Maria. So and it is 10% off most of the site. It's not all of the site, but
Yes,
try.
most of the
Seriously,
site.
but most of the
Most of the
site.
site.
So that is so sweet of you. Thank you. That's also just for a few days, just for my community. I appreciate it. And okay, the drops are included. We said that. Can you add essential oils or protein powders in it if you drink it?
Yes to the essential oils, no to the protein powder.
Okay. Ionized water filters out heavy metal from tap water, Cheryl says, to explain that.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
we live in Hawaii and use a dehumidifier daily, which makes distilled water. Would it be okay to use this?
Absolutely.
It would? Wow, that's incredible. Do you ship to Mexico?
No, we do not.
Okay. Um, how long do the bottle of minerals last?
They're going to last for,
It's eight
I would
drops. Like I
estimate
put eight drops in
months.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get probably 6 months, and we'll have that up on the site here in a little bit. We'll have these available for additional purchase shortly. So
Uh, do you ship to the UK?
we do, yes.
Okay. Can you use reverse osmosis water?
You can. It's just you just have to use a few less drops. So you may have to just it'll work with reverse osmosis water, but distilled a little bit more accurate for our testing.
Yeah. Can you use it with AquaTrue instead of distilled, which is a heavy duty air water purifier?
Um, so you can use it with really purified water. The issue that we run into is like the hardness of the water. So like we went to like when I was in Vegas not too long ago, we tested out the device at a show, and Vegas has like ridiculously hard water. And if it's too hard, it will not work. So
Okay.
if there's too many minerals, it's gonna overload the system and it's not gonna want to produce the ozone. So just be aware of that. If it doesn't do anything, chances are your water content is off.
Danielle's saying AquaTrue is reverse osmosis. Rich, what is the
Okay.
strength of ozone concentration or gas of the water produced by the new product as compared with one of Promo Life's medical ozone generators?
Perfect. We're able to get, 4 parts per million with this. We've even tested a little bit higher from time to time. Um, a traditional system like this is going to get you, it's going to take you 20 to 30 minutes of ozonation, but it's going to get you anywhere from 6 to 8 parts per million. So it'll
So
get you
you're,
higher, but the process is a little bit more lengthy.
and that's a more expensive device. This is 4 parts per million.
That's
Um,
correct.
is there a gauge for or indicator that it has reached that necessary range you mentioned? It has to do with how many drops you put in, and
Yeah.
then you just do the normal 3 minutes. Is there any kind of certification or inspection or lab for this water? No. I
So
mean, is
no,
there?
not right now at all. I mean, like
Yeah.
this is a brand new product. I mean, we're promoting this for oral health and to drink as well. Like, we the video that we have on our website, we actually test it with like the gold standard ozone testing device out there. It uses the color aspect of the water to measure how much ozone's in there. And so, we've done all these tests in our, before launching this product just to verify
I
what
mean,
we're
there's
getting.
not
We
like
don't
the water purification people. It's a totally different, like,
like
different.
no industry out there is testing for how much ozone is in the water. They're testing for
Okay,
how
guys.
much ozone is out of the water.
Linda, Charmaine, please put your questions in the Q&A box. Let's see, how long should you swish the ozone oil in your mouth?
Well, so if
Ozone
you're using
water,
oil pulling, okay.
but if you're doing
Oh,
oil pulling, that's different.
yeah. Oil pulling, I usually say 5 to 15 minutes. If you can tolerate 15, go for it. Ozone water, I mean, like standard mouthwash, 30 seconds.
Okay, and then I had to switch. Maria, here's the information. There is the coupon information. So can you hold up the big box that needs the oxygen tank? This does not need an oxygen tank. Can you hold up the box, Tobias,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Go to the site,
this
everybody.
requires this.
Yeah, go to the website. It's all explained there. Can ozone kill mold in the gut? Hi, Louise.
Oh, yeah, I mean, ozone's going to kill like, candida. It's going to kill, I would say, yeah, if you have mold, I mean, that's what they use ozone for is mold issues. So yeah.
Any experience using ozonated water for pets, dogs specifically, to aid in oral and dental issues?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I've talked to too many vets that promote it for oral health. So 100%.
Are there any studies using ozone water in cancer, especially blood cancers? Oh, Suzanne, I'm so sorry you are asking that question because that might means you need some help there. I'm so sorry.
I would recommend looking into like a IV ozone therapy. That's going to be the fastest way to administer ozone to, to that area.
And definitely look up Ryan Sternagel and um, Dr. Paul Anderson, just like those are my cancer go-to. Is there any contraindications to use this in someone with cataracts yet to be surgically removed? Hang in there, Elizabeth.
I have never run across that. I mean, our body naturally produces small amounts of ozone. So uh, to me, that says that it's, incredibly safe. Our body already knows what to do with it. You know, medication, I've talked to too many doctors, medication isn't even an issue as well.
Can you make ozonated oil with the same device?
No, you
No.
cannot.
Nope, it's strictly a water thing. We still need the answer to find the device on the website. Harmony, go to the chat, scroll up one. It's right there. You see it says me to everyone, and there's the link. I'm going to copy it, and here's what it looks like. When you click that link, it's right there. Use code SS10, and that is available for the 10% off for a few more days. Okay, stop share. So, okay. I'm typing your answer. I'm sending it to you again in the Q&A box. Maybe that'll work. I'm not sure. Okay, can drinking ozone, okay, Danny, I want to ask your question. It's a two-parter. Why would you want to drink it if it's an oxidant? One, and then can drinking ozone water cause die-off then if you have SIBO or SIFO and mold in the gut? Yes, it could cause die-off.
It can, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead on if it's an oxidant, why
The
would you?
oxidant, yeah. So great question. Ozone has also been shown to stimulate the body to produce antioxidants. So even though it's an oxidant, it actually pushes your body in more of a balancing mode to, have a balancing amount of oxidants and antioxidants. So really, it doesn't actually, even though it is an oxidant, it doesn't actually act as like a negative oxidant in your system.
I'm not going to really speak to whether or not ozonated oil on Amazon is good or not. I just know and trust Tobias and have purchased and used the products from his site. And, they could be great. I don't know. It's Wild West, but I know him. Okay. Okay, Cami, I'm very immune compromised sick with Lyme mold and haven't been able to treat yet until I get more detoxed. I know my teeth cleaned. I need my teeth cleaned and haven't been in for 2 years due to illness. Oh my gosh, Cami, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Great. Okay. So I was just talking to a lady a little bit ago about that. She was talking about spirochetes and ozone water, and she wants her patients to use ozone water for spirochetes. We were looking at like under the tooth like infections and where they find spirochetes.
Yeah.
And that's a big indicator of potential like leading to like even Alzheimer's later on in life, that a lot of those bacteria are going to make it up to the brain. So like we showed, ozone actually penetrates and gets through that area, and we can get it deep to hopefully eliminate the Lyme bacteria, the spirochetes that are causing all those issues. So, I mean, it's not going to be 100%, perfect for everything, but it is an easy thing to do to hopefully reduce some of that bacteria count.
Okay. How long does the ozone stay in the water? About a half an hour. Okay, hold on. Cami's not done, and I totally forgot to tell you all something. Will using the ozone oil help after getting the teeth cleaned from getting infection will make me herx?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's going to make you herx, but it'll definitely help reduce any potential infections. I don't see why it would cause you to herx at all.
But getting the oil is a great idea. I've read the rest of your question. That's a great idea. Okay, so see, this is what happens when I don't have my helper. Hold on. We have a little bonus for those of you who decided to order by 5 p.m. Eastern time. I got to find it so I can show it to you. It is, hold on, stand by while you are contemplating this. I love my big ozone machine, but I love having this so conveniently. My husband's not going to mess around with the ozone machine. He's just like he bought that
Same with
horrible,
my wife. She was like, Toby, set
right?
this up for me.
Yeah. And so, he's amazing, but he's just kind of like, enough. And so the fact is that it's right there. It's so convenient. We've had it for a couple of days now. He's used it every day. I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, he's not going to set the world on fire with enthusiasm for pretty much anything.
Like,
But okay, hold on for a second. This is what I wanted to tell you about. You're going to be very happy about this, Tobias. Anybody who purchases this device, or actually anything on Tobias's website between now and 5 p.m. Eastern time, is going to get this as our gift. And this is from the Whole Body Dental Summit that I did.
oh,
And
nice.
this is Dr. Phil Malika on oxygen, ozone therapy Malika in dentistry. I'm just popping through here.
He's good. This guy knows his stuff. So
we test it, make sure the patient tests it nice cold water, which is always thrilling. We want to kind of see in a model here, we rinse out the time. In this particular case,
got before and afters, some graphic details there. This is like very, very cool. So
boom. Yeah, this guy knows ozone water.
So that's a $59 value on its own. And so I am throwing that in if you decide to go for it between now and 5 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, if you've already bought, then go ahead. This is what you do. You send us proof of purchase to info@SIBO.com. Boom. Very proud of myself for finally remembering that. Okay. Can you put the coupon in the chat? It's simply SS, hi, I'm Shivan, Sarna. So Shivan, Sarna, like my initials, and 10, because it's 10% off. Okay, I'm getting back to these questions. Oh my gosh, I only have 8 more minutes, so hang in there. Okay. I did this one. How does this electrolysis deal offer from that creating HOCl? You know how you can make what is HOCl? And you can make it at home, but I've tried that before. Man, I don't need that project.
You'll like when you make it, when you do it this way, like you're gonna smell the ozone. I mean, it's pretty clear that it's ozone being produced. I mean, it smells just like ozone, and also we're using an actual ozone testing device that measures the ozone concentration in the water.
Okay. Can I use ozone water to cook with, make coffee? What about using it for coffee enemas versus just ozone for enemas? Great question.
Here's the problem with that. Anytime you heat up the water, you're destroying the ozone. So,
okay.
I mean, if you did lukewarm water, maybe, but when you make coffee, it's going to have to be hot. I hate cold coffee. So,
yeah,
no, unfortunately.
Okay. Curious about it for nasal irrigation. Needs to be sterile, boil or use distilled, then ozonate.
Absolutely. I mean, I've done that for my son already. It works great.
You can
make it a little bit warm. Yeah, you can use that. I mean, it does help if you maybe add like a saline packet to make it feel a little bit better. But yeah, you can absolutely use that as a nasal irrigation or rinse.
Guys, I'm saying yes to this to help your receding gums. I'm going to say yes, but individual results will vary. I mean, one person's recession is another person's large pocket. Can I use this at my holistic skincare spa? Dawn, that sounds very nice.
It depends on how you want to use it. I mean, if you're rinsing, hands or cuts or scrapes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if you have the larger generator unit, do you feel this is repetitive or beneficial? Maria, it totally depends on your lifestyle. I have the big unit.
I don't think it's repetitive. I think you're going to get a lot of additional benefits out of these things. Like I said, if you're wanting systemic full body ozone, this is the way to go. It takes more time. There's time involved into using these, but the time also translates to, more benefit. This is for somebody who doesn't have the time. And so that's why we create it, because there's a lot of people like that.
The bigger device, Barbara, is how you make the oil. Can lukewarm water be used? Yes, it just has to be the kind that we've been talking about. Okay.
You can use room temperature / a little warm. It may not be as high as the ozone cost. We've measured this with room temperature water. So just a heads up.
How is this for parasites? So you talked about spirochetes.
Oh yeah, I mean, ozone has been shown to eradicate a lot of different pathogens, including parasites. You're going to see if you, I'm sure Phil Malika has gone over how ozone has
It
eliminated
does.
parasites if they're finding
Yes.
them in the mouth. Yeah, it's to me, it's like it's a no-brainer. Like you're wanting
Oh my
to,
gosh.
use that. Like since ozone's negatively charged, it literally attracts itself to a lot of these pesky little things in your mouth.
Okay, so do the smaller device cannot be used for systemic issues? It can, but you cannot use it for nasal insufflate. What is that word?
Insufflation. So anywhere like
Insufflation.
ozone gas is required, like ear
Right, it doesn't make
insufflations,
gas.
sinus insufflations,
Right.
the rectal stuff,
Yeah.
that it doesn't do that. And so, we want to be clear, this is strictly ozone water. That's all it's going to produce, but ozone water has a ton of uses, and that's where, you can find a daily reason to use this every day.
It doesn't help with root canals. It's not going to replace, but it's going to help that gum tissue. So it's going to be, this is to me the end all be all. How many of us have
Yeah.
looked at hydrogen peroxide and baking soda and hoped for the best and maybe even had some results? Here is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, more powerful too, which is good.
More powerful. Yes, the replay will be sent out in a little bit. What's the warranty?
We're offering a 1-year warranty right now. I mean, we may
Nice.
extend it. We just launched it, but it's going to have a minimum of a 1-year warranty. So,
Okay, guys, if you want to get that masterclass, then order within the next hour because it's 4 o'clock, so to speak, and email your proof of purchase to info@SIBO.com. And that is now I have a hair on my face or something in the chat. For systemic benefits, we would just drink it, ? That could be something to be helpful, but there's also the gas, which is helpful. And yes, you can use the discount code on the large devices. It's available for 10% off when you use SS10 on most of his website. Not all, but on most. While you're there,
I mean, and drinking it will also hit the throat, which if you're having a sore throat issue, it's going to hit that area. And so it can accelerate the healing.
So since you're getting into this ozone life today, guys, this is the disc that I use for washing my fruits and vegetables. Like you go to the farmer's market, you go to the big grocery store, you get a bunch of fruits and veggies. This goes in your sink. It's insane because you're putting something with electricity into your sink. Just read the instructions. I should hesitated in the beginning, but
perfectly safe.
Perfectly safe. It ozonates the whole sink of water, or like a pot where I put the grapes in over the weekend, and I've never felt more confident in terms of my fruits and veggies being clean because I juice a lot. Just got a bag of oranges. They come in that orange mesh, so they all look even more orange. Sure enough, one had just like this nasty mold on the outside because it had been squished up. That one, bye-bye. And then what did those spores get all over? I don't worry about it anymore. I just ozonate the whole batch. I take it out of the bag.
Nice.
I love it. I love this thing. Okay. Let's see. Have the medium to long-term effects of drinking ozonated water all day been studied in any way on microbiome diversity, on blood oxygen with respect to anything?
Great question. There's probably more that needs to be done, but I mean, there's a lot of people who drink ozone water every day. I think it boils down if you're dealing with a health issue. I mean, if you have an overabundance of bad bacteria, you have to do something. Here's the thing. It's better than taking an antibiotic every day. Okay. Substantially better than that.
Yeah. The benefits of ozone water versus an ozone IV treatment in the blood for the blood, it's just different. It's just different.
I mean, you're going to feel it more on the IV side. There's people that I know who do it, every week, and they're doing great. Like you do have to, if you're doing a lot of this hardcore IV ozone therapy, you do have to supplement with a good probiotic. That is key.
Okay. You could use this to clean your produce if it was like one small batch.
You could.
But I like the big batch. Okay.
Better yet, pour it into a spray bottle and then spray your vegetables.
Spray. I'm super paranoid, so I like to dunk the whole thing. Okay, info@SIBOSOS.com. Listen, is how, if you want to get that masterclass of the biological dentist talking about ozone, which is one that's a fantastic one. you need to mail us a receipt for your proof of purchase for something from Tobias's website by 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what it is. When you see Susan, it's info@sibosos.com. If you buy before 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight, please send us that proof of purchase also tonight, and we will get you that masterclass along with the slides. Forgot that. Okay, if you have an ozone generator that does not use an oxygen tank already, but has a hose that goes into the water, can you say how your device might be different? Is the oxygen coming from the water or air in your device?
So good question. So if you have one of those devices, it's coming from the ambient air, and that's going to be, 20% oxygen, 76% nitrogen. So you're putting a lot of other stuff into that water. Here's the other thing. You're only going to get like 0.05 parts per million max. Like I've tested it. It's really hard. It's really hard to get it even above 1 part per million with those types of devices. So, it's not going to be that strong. This is going to get a lot stronger, which is nice.
Okay. What will the ozone water actually help the bone tissue of the mouth? I thought it was only the ozonated gas put into the dental tubules, not the water. What's the difference?
It's going to actually generate. I mean, ozone is going to get in there regardless. It's going to generate a healing response. So, it's a lot of people say that ozone water has great absorption properties, almost sometimes better than gas in certain uses. Obviously gas has its place. I think it's great. But talking to a lot of dentists, like ozone water has been shown to do a phenomenal job at like disinfecting and getting into places a little bit. And it's a little bit more gentle too, which is nice. Ozone water you'll find is incredibly gentle on the mouth, where sometimes ozone gas, if too high of a concentration, can cause a little irritation. So water is nice. It's a very gentle approach.
Okay, and how long, let's say we pour it out into a cup, how long is it going to last?
The phone broke up. Can you say that one more time?
If you pour your ozone water into a cup, walk away,
Yeah.
come back, how long does the ozone last?
Half-life is going to be 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, I did. 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Okay. We were talking about that a lot already, but it's 30 minutes. Can't you use an ozone concentrator instead of an oxygen tank for the ozone generator package? I think you already just answered that.
That you absolutely can. There's no issues with that. It's just the complexity of use is a little bit higher. Tanks are a little bit easier if you can get one. But will work the same.
Okay. Is there a battery option in case of emergency situations?
It's battery charged. So
it's battery
yes.
charged. It's rechargeable.
Yes.
If this is your first foray into ozone, maybe you want to pick up an ozone oil and get this. Great way to get started. Please go to the website. Most of the website is 10% off with SS10 for a few days. So you'll have to put it in your cart and see, because not everything is manufactured by Tobias, but he did his best to try to get most things on the website for 10% off. What is your customer service email address?
You can email us at usually we do sales and customer service all in one. Sales@promolife.com. It'll get to our customer service team.
Sales@promolife.com. There it is.
That's correct.
Okay, there it is. Yes, the charger comes with the device. Okay, everybody has enough information to make a winning decision right now and go to the website. Plus, we have to go. If you do want to get the more extensive device and you have questions, you can email them.
Yes.
This is a great big breakthrough. I'm very excited for you all. You have more than enough information to make a wise decision regarding this. And so if it appeals to you and if you think it's a fit, then go for it. And if not, it's been great spending this time with you. Thank you so much. I hope we've expanded your concept about ozone. Tobias?
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add, if anybody wants to give us a call and talk about these other systems, we're happy to sit down with you and go over the ins and outs on how to get set up. That's what we do here as well. So, we want you to feel confident and comfortable with these types of devices. But overall, if you have any additional questions about ozone water, I'd be happy to answer those. And hey, thank you so much for this opportunity to launch the product.
Yeah, you guys are really on the ground floor of this. You'll be the first people to experience this. And I'm very happy for you all. And thank you, Tobias, for giving us the 10% off. I know that was
You're
a
welcome.
big deal, and it's on most of the things on the website. So thank you so much. And it's a $59 value if you do order within the next 55 minutes to get that phenomenal masterclass, because that is all about ozone. And believe me, once you see that masterclass, you're going to want this device. So it's a little bit backwards. But I wanted to just do one other thing, Tobias. I want to go to the website, your website. There it is. And just poke around for a second. Nope, that's the wrong
I
one.
think somebody asked what the price of the device was. Before the discount, it's $199. So
Yeah.
with the discount, it knocks off $20 roughly, right around there.
Okay. All right. Great. I'm going to the wrong one. Or site and show us the like somebody wanted to know where the disc is for cleaning the fruits and veggies in the whole
Yeah, it
sink.
should be
That's
under
what I'm looking for.
I'll have to find exactly where it's.
Stop share.
Hold on 1 second. Why am I doing that? It's going to be
Coupon
under
code SS10. That's right. We'll drop them with it.
I'll send
Guys,
everybody
go
a
to the
link.
website.
I
Okay.
can send a link to that device really quick. So hold on 1
Jean,
second.
go
Let's
into the
see if I can
chat. That's where the email address is. Okay, Charmaine, go to the link. I swear I just pulled it up. It's right there. Can't miss it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Actually, Tobias, did you do it? No, I'm
I
gonna
did. I
share.
just sent
Okay.
you guys a link. So yes.
Oh, okay. And then when you go to Zoom, here you go. Zoom, there. Share. I clicked the link that was in the chat. And here it is. There, you see it? Find out more. Click. There it is.
Sure.
Add to cart. It's two clicks away. Super simple. Okay. Use code SS10 and that will be the
Yeah, it'll knock off around it'll be right around like 179 for a price.
I see.
And I want to add,
Okay,
like, this will replace your mouthwash. You're not going to be buying any more mouthwash. Like, you can use this. I mean, what is a bottle of mouthwash costs like $6 to $8, depending on, like, the good stuff is even more like 10. So this will replace it. I mean, it'll pay for itself so quickly, in my opinion. To me, it's a no-brainer. Like, taking this with you, you can travel with it if you want to. Just oral health in general. I mean, you're going to save a ton of money in the long run with something like this.
Okay, here. See, I think this is what's confusing you. This is what you need to click. I will use my annotation. A big red highlighter. Wah. There you go. There you go, Shivan. Look how creative I am. So that's where you need to go, and then you click that. Okay, I think you get the point. All right, take care, everybody. We're gonna boogie, and we will. What's the name of the device for the sink full of veggies?
I just sent a link via text message. It's called the Ozopod 10.
The find out more button could say buy now. That's true, Charmaine. We will fix that.
It could.
Yeah.
And I can change that.
that.
I'll get that changed.
He's on top of it. Okay, good. Yes, thanks, Charmaine, for that feedback. We need, we get into our forest and the trees and we're like, looks fine to me. Yeah, that's great. Do you ship to Italy?
We can. Yeah. I mean, we can ship pretty much everywhere except like Mexico, Brazil. Like, typically that whole Mexico, South America is kind of iffy when it gets, comes to getting stuff in. So the taxes are just crazy high. So
will the Ozopod 10 clean the appeal off fruit and veg?
Oh gosh, the peel is new to me. I haven't done enough research on that, so I just know that there's some controversy behind what that stuff actually is. So I don't have a solid answer for that right now.
What I want to say is I think it's the best option that we have for cleaning fruits and vegetables. I don't know anything that does clean the appeal off per se, so that's just one of those things.
And I want to note that ozone is an improved processing ingredient in the organic food industry as well. So like, I mean, a lot of places utilize ozone already to clean things because it works so well.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. I do need to go. Thank you so much, Tobias.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
All right. Take care. Just follow your dentist's order, Marion, about the water pick and brushing your teeth. No, the minerals are included. Okay. And yes,
everything's included.
We will be sending out the recording. And thanks, Charmaine. Appreciate your feedback. And Tobias, can you fix that website?
I'll do it right now.
Okay. Peace out, man. Thanks all. Talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Look for your email.
Bye-bye.
Have the replay in it. Okay. Bye-bye.